European Council President Donald Tusk let out a smile after a blunder when explaining the agreed position of the EU 27. Over a Brexit extension, the EU 27 agreed to offer the UK an extension to Brexit until May 22 if MPs approve Theresa May's withdrawal agreement next week. If the Prime Minister's withdrawal agreement is voted down, the UK will be given until April 12 to outline its next steps. Delivering his speech in Brussels, journalists burst out laughing after a blunder made by the European Council President. Mr. Tusk said, in the first scenario, if the withdrawal agreement is passed by the House of Commons next week, the European Council agrees to an extension until the 22nd of May. In the second scenario, if the withdrawal agreement is not approved by the House of Commons next week, the European Council agrees to an extension until April 20. The European Council President quickly corrected himself, saying, the 12th of April, Brexit news. Donald Tusk smirked after his Brexit delay blunder. Image Sky News. What this means in practice is that until that date all options will remain open, and cliff edge date will be delayed. Donald Tusk Tusk smirked at his mistake, with reporters overheard laughing at the blunder. He added, while expecting the UK to indicate a way forward. What this means in practice is that until that date all options will remain open and the cliff edge date will be delayed. The UK government will still have a choice of a deal, no deal, a long extension, or revoking Article 50. The 12th of April is a key date in terms of the UK deciding whether to hold European Parliament elections. The Prime Minister had travelled to Brussels on Thursday for the EU summit to make the case for extending Britain's departure from the Brussels bloc to June 30. Leaders of the EU 27 debated the Prime Minister's proposal, but talks ran hours after the expected conclusion of discussions, meaning Mr. Tusk's statement was not delivered until just before midnight in Brussels. Asked at the press conference how long the long extension eventually on offer to the UK could be, European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker replied, until the very end. The European Council published the conclusions agreed by the 27 other members, saying they agreed to an extension to May 22 on the proviso that Mrs. May's deal is approved in the Commons. The document said, the European Council takes note of the letter of Prime Minister Theresa May of 20 March 2019. In response, the European Council approves the instrument relating to the withdrawal agreement and the joint statement supplementing the political declaration agreed between the European Commission and the Government of the United Kingdom. In Strasbourg on the 11th of March 2019, the European Council agrees to an extension until the 22nd of May 2019, provided the withdrawal agreement is approved by the House of Commons next week. If the withdrawal agreement is not approved by the House of Commons next week, the European Council agrees to an extension until the 12th of April 2019 and expects the United Kingdom to indicate a way forward before this date for consideration by the European Council. The European Council reiterates that there can be no opening of the withdrawal agreement that was agreed between the Union and the United Kingdom in November 2018. Any unilateral commitment, statement or other act should be compatible with the letter and the spirit of the withdrawal agreement. The European Council calls for work to be continued on preparedness and contingency at all levels for the consequences of the United Kingdom's withdrawal, taking into account all possible outcomes. The European Council will remain seized of the matter.